When talking about commercial buildings, you can have a couple different types of them. You can have just a standalone building. You can also have a building that has multiple units. Okay. So first, we're going to talk about just a standalone building that someone owns outright and that their business is inside. Okay. When you go to get insurance on that building, it's kind of just like a home where you're going to want the replacement cost value. Okay. So that means if the building totally gets destroyed, whatever we have on there, the insurance carrier is going to replace the building. Okay. Um, and then they will replace the outside and the inside. Okay. And then the second type of commercial building that we're going to talk about is if you just an owner, let's say of a strip mall or something like that, and you own multiple units inside that building. Okay. This one gets a little tricky. So if you own a strip mall with multiple units, okay, you would just be responsible for the shell of the building, which is the roof, the sides, the AC, the inside, just to put the drywall up. You would not be responsible for the flooring. You could just leave it concrete. Okay. And it's important when you do that to know what type of hurricane deductible you're going to get. In homeowners, it's 2%. In commercial, it's usually standard 3%. And then it goes different from there. All other perils, AOP, just like in a regular homeowner's policy. Homeowner starts at 2,500. Commercial property usually for AOP starts at about 5,000. Okay, so when you're, again, just to wrap that up, a single building, you're responsible for the outside and the inside. Okay, if you actually occupy that building. And if you don't and you own a building with multiple units, you are just responsible for the shell of the building. Okay. Okay, so the next type of commercial property insurance that we're going to talk about is when you are a renter of a building. Okay, you have a business, you're ready to get going. Now you need a spot to rent. You find that spot. What are you responsible for as the property? You know the building owner, you know that you don't own the building, and so the person that owns the building is responsible for that. You're responsible for that shell to make that shell look pretty. Okay, how we talked about in the first segment that if you just own the building and you don't occupy it, you're responsible to put the shell back. Well, now if you're the renter, you're responsible to take that shell and turn it into something nice the way you want. Okay, so the TIV is going to cover all these types of things. It's going to cover flooring, it's going to cover paint, doors on the inside, not the outside, doors on the inside if you make little offices, all that stuff. Whatever it would cost for you to build out that office, and the losses would be the same as if it was the outside of the building if you own the whole thing. There will be a hurricane deductible. There will be an AOP deductible, all of the perils, okay? And those will apply just the same way. So if a hurricane comes through and rips that roof off and damages your inside that you made look pretty, your policy would now cover that for you to make it look pretty again after it was damaged. All right, so now moving on. Now you own the building, okay? Or you rent the building, you rent the spot, and you have your build out, your TIB to make it look pretty. Now what do you do with all that property that you have inside? Business personal property, also known as BPP, okay? So business personal property can be anything that you use that you can take out, kind of like personal property that you can take out of your home, couches, TVs, beds, things like that. Well, it's the same with the business. Things that aren't attached to the business, whether it's a coffee machine, whether it's a donut maker, okay, whether it's computers, desks, chairs, anything that you can take out that makes your business run that would be considered BPP. Equipment could also be that too. So you need to ask your insurance agent and be upfront with them And when they ask you, what do you have for business, personal property, be sure to name all that different stuff. Now, on the policy, it may group together. Let's say you have a total of business, personal property of like 20,000. Well, instead of like itemizing it all out, a lot of times what we do is just group it together. Now, if you have like a big ticket item, a coffee machine or a donut maker or something like that, a fryolator, ovens in restaurants, things like that, you would then specifically name them on the policy and write down what it was and how much it was. That way, the insurance carrier knows that in the event of a loss, you have this special item that you're going to get replaced on top of whatever you put for the business personal property. Okay. So, and the way the losses occur in it, if there's a hurricane and it wipes out the inside of your building when you're renting it and you have that business personal property in there, whether you're renting it or you own the building, the policy is gonna pay the same way. Again, you're gonna have a hurricane deductible. You're gonna have that AOP deductible, okay? And they're all gonna pay the same way. So definitely make sure when you are going over your policy that you talk about all of these things that we went through today on our field trip with your insurance agent so that he or she can better get you the policy that you need. Okay. So just to recap, when you're talking about commercial property insurance, you're talking about building, TIB, when you are renting a place, business personal property, and equipment. Okay. And if you have any questions, please give us a call at one of our 3 locations. Visit us on the web, jonesfamilyins.com. We are always here to help and serve your insurance needs. We love to educate. You can find us doing different classes around town as well. So again, thank you for joining us on another Friday Facts with Keeping Up with the Joneses. I'm Matthew Jones, and we'll see you next time.